This is Eryri, where epic comes in many forms. 9 mountain ranges, coastline for miles, acres of dense forest. Millions are drawn to this part of North Wales every year. But this is a wild landscape.
Hello!
Where the best day of your life can quickly become the worst.
Police emergency, how can I help?
There's a little boy trapped in the mountain.
And when a call for help comes in, the busiest network of rescue agencies in the country must join forces.
How did you get here?
Professionals and volunteers, side by side.
Keep going.
Each team bringing vital skills and local knowledge.
Helicopter inbound.
Of how to save a life in a landscape like no other.
2 casualties from life-changing injuries.
Life is good when people help each other.
Eryri National Park is an adventure playground. What makes it special is how rural and how remote it is. So much of the land can only be accessed by foot.
But when someone exploring this vast place goes missing, finding them can be a huge challenge. Searches can quickly require dozens of people from many different agencies.
The police couldn't do what they do without the help of the other agencies as well. Here in Eryri, it is vital that we do keep on working with each other because of the vastness, the remoteness of where we live.
The Rhinogs are a beautiful mountain range. They're notoriously very rocky. They've got large boulder fields, thick heather. It can take a long time to get in there onto the summits and a long time to get yourself out. Visitors who go there usually are very experienced hill walkers, but it's common for people to get lost there, in good weather, let alone in the dark.
A walker called Jeff is missing after getting separated from his hiking group. It's thought he's been out all night on mountains battered by thunderstorms. North Wales Police will coordinate the search at first light.
The last thing that we knew about him was that he had taken a picture of the trig point at the summit of Rhinog Fawr and sent that to the group that remained at the campsite. The group had grown quite concerned for his welfare due to the fact they haven't heard from him in hours.
He posted a picture on Facebook, a summit selfie at 3:30 on the Saturday afternoon. He was wearing a blue Gore-Tex jacket, and that really was the thing that we were looking for.
We tend to do the obvious bits and search the tent, search the car. To no avail, we didn't find anything.
The police put out alerts on social media. And search teams from 3 different mountain rescues are sent out from Jeff's last known position at the summit of Rhinog Fawr, across the entire mountain range.
This was an absolutely huge multi-agency missing person search. We divide the search area into very narrow bands that each team needs to search and then report back to us at base.
Initially, we landed on the top. We had a scout around the summit.
There was a real urgency and a haste to want to find him. It involved the Coast Guard helicopter. The helicopter had a bird's eye view of the summit and they were scouring the boulder fields for a blue jacket. They spent the whole day with us, which is unheard of, circling the mountain over and over. And we also had the SARDA search and rescue dogs. We had 2 dogs out on the hill that day to try and find this gentleman. It was a huge amount of resources.
We all work with each other. We work very closely. We're like one big organism, yeah? That kind of runs in the background. And we only turn up when we needed.
They came around, but to do so, some people have come down there, and the others have checked the rocks out, well, as far as they could, down that way, and met here. Okay.
Jeff has now been missing on the mountain for nearly 21 hours, and the teams fear the worst.
Your mind starts to think, OK, this man's been out on the mountain all night. We didn't know how much food he had. We didn't know if he had any other warm clothing. So things weren't looking good.
Across Eryri, all 6 of the mountain rescue teams have to regularly deal with missing person call-outs.
We are always hopeful when we go out that we're going to bring back someone off the mountain. There is the possibility that the reason is that they are overdue, is that they've lost their life due to an accident.
The risk that casualties may have come to harm while out on the hill is one of the toughest aspects of the work these volunteers sign up for.
Well, I've dealt with 5 fatalities this year. And it's a sad operation. They've been out to enjoy the mountains just like all of us have been out to enjoy the mountains. This is someone we could have been standing next to in the pub last night.
Back in the search for Jeff, daylight is fading, so the teams reluctantly call an end to the search.
It was about 4 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was getting dark soon, and we'd not found him. We had a plan for the next day, potentially looking for a body, and I think we were all really deflated, really tired.
But despite now being off duty, the missing man is still preying on police officer Iwan's mind.
I just thought to myself, I can't sit here and not explore. If I just have a quick spin by the mountain rescue base, and then I just saw this lone person walking towards me. I said, that's him, that's the chap that we've been looking for last night.
A police car turned up outside the base and he got out. The missing person had been found on the roadside, not very far from our base at all, miles and miles away from where we thought he was. He'd been out all night and all day with no phone battery, no map because it had blown away.
It's easy to stray off the path when it's really rocky and you can't quite tell where it is. And then I got caught in this storm. Google Maps wouldn't load, so I only had like a vague idea about how to get back. I just moved around, took shelter where I could. I got onto the road, then I came across the off-duty police officer.
It's surreal, really, that, you know, that everybody had been out looking for him all day and we just managed by chance to come across him.
It was my mistake, basically. If I'd stayed with the group, it almost certainly wouldn't have happened. It's a number of bad decisions, but when you haven't had any sleep and when you haven't much food, you kind of aren't making good decisions.
I don't think he realised the severity of what he had put himself into. It could have been a very, very different outcome.
In time-critical call-outs, a stroke of luck that puts rescuers in the right place at the right time can make all the difference. And that means search and rescue volunteers are never really off duty.
I like to get out as often as I can, really, just keep fit. I see a lot of what I do as training for the team as well. I don't want to be the weak link. Cadidris, yeah, it's lovely. I've done it 168 times.
One of Southern Eryri's highest peaks, its name means Chair of Idris, named after a legendary giant. It was a February morning when Matt decided to venture up the mountain on his day off.
It was horrendous going up, driving wind, driving rain, but, you know, you just get on and do it. And I was dropping down off Cadidris. I could see a group of people. 3 stood and 1 sat down. And just as I saw them, my phone pinged.
It could take mountain rescue several hours to get there, but Matt happening to be so close means he can help straight away.
The friend Carl collapsed, called his name and he wasn't responding. Looking at the fact that he was absolutely wet through, my thoughts were just hypothermia.
Hypothermia is a medical emergency when the body's core temperature becomes dangerously low.
Bearing in mind we are on an exposed side of the mountain, the wind is battering us. I had a blizzard jacket. It's a survival kit, it's a foil jacket. Put that on, it was really difficult because his arms were locked rigid. At that point I thought, right, what do we do? The 3 other people can't stay out here with me, they're going to deteriorate.
Matt sends the group to a stone hut at Cataridris' summit to take shelter. But by this time, Carl is unconscious.
You're aware of the fact that you're on your own. You're constantly thinking, is there anything else I can do?
Meanwhile, Aberdyfi Search and Rescue has gathered a team, including volunteers from neighbouring South Snowdonia. Time is critical, so the Coast Guard helicopter airlifts 3 of them up to the casualty.
What was helpful was communication with Ian, who was the call handler on the day.
He sounded concerned, and he freely admitted, Ian, I'm starting to get cold now. We're coming, Matt, we are coming.
But low cloud means the helicopter can't land close to Carl and is forced to find a safer spot further away.
2 hours in, there was a call from Ian.
We're a good hour yet. A bit of a stunned silence on the end of the phone.
And at that point, I actually felt panic start to rise in my stomach. I just thought, how am I going to get off this mountain? Waiting, cold, wet, and numb. Minutes last such a long time.
I said, look, Matt, you know, you've done your best for the guy. You're going to have to think about start taking some of the layers off him. We don't want to be stretchering you off as well.
You do have to look after yourself, but also you can't leave somebody like that. You can't leave somebody on the side of a mountain. You had to tell myself to get a grip. Get up, jump around, walk up and down, warm myself up, otherwise I'd become a casualty. I thought of my family, my wife and kids at home.
After 4 hours waiting, the first 3 members of Mountain Rescue finally reach Matt and Carl.
The sense of relief was just amazing. Absolutely amazing. What surprised me is that they actually, at first, were concentrating on me. Did I need the casualty bag? No. I'm cold, I'm wet, but I'm okay. And they were on to Carl.
I had never seen anybody that cold. I'd got my head next to him to try and hear if there was any breathing going on, and it was really, really hard to determine whether he was alive or not.
By now, more mountain rescue volunteers have arrived on foot, and together they must carry the casualty down the mountain to the waiting helicopter. But it'll take 2 hours. And they have to go slowly, as any jolting risks putting Carl into cardiac arrest.
It's not something that can be rushed. So we formed up a chain gang and we passed the stretcher.
His breathing became very, very quick. He was gasping for air.
As we're coming down, the casualty carer, Helen, announced that we were running low on oxygen. We've got somebody here who's on the verge of dying.
The helicopter had managed to come up the mountain slightly to a point a little bit lower than us. The next thing I hear is the helicopter overhead. The winchman clipped on, I moved away, and he was gone.
Carl had been on the mountain for over 7 hours.
Because of the state that it was in, I remember going to bed that night thinking, is he actually going to survive?
Six months later, Matt is back on Cadair Idris to meet Carl for the first time since that night.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Not bad. Happy birthday.
Oh, cheers. He saved my life, plain and simple. Without his support, there was no chance in me lasting as long as I did.
You did really well.
Wouldn't have been without you.
Carl woke up in hospital the day after his rescue.
Was there any doubts in your mind towards my deterioration?
There was times I was really concerned, and I actually thought that it'd be a miracle if you got through this.
You know, I was fortunate enough to stumble across the casualty when I did, but we all played our part.
I'm proud of you. I'm amazed that you pulled through it. You did really well.
Well, next time you get stuck on a mountain, you can give me a call. I'll come pick you up.
Without those volunteers, without all those people, Carl wouldn't be here today.
Very lucky. It could have gone so many other different ways.
The fact that you actually are stood here is enough.
A single call-out can put pressure on Eryri's rescue teams, so busy days with multiple calls can stretch them to their limits.
It's really hard to predict when the call-outs are going to come. But on this particular weekend, it turned out to be quite a busy weekend. It was a funny day. The mountain was half and half, so snow up on the top and no snow down below. There were a lot of people out who were perhaps a little bit underprepared.
There were 6 of us, we're all friends. Except for Josh. Josh is my fiancé.
When I first saw Travan, I was very excited. It's a very impressive mountain. The plan was a nice little climb/hike up and down, expecting it to be sort of a 4 or 5 hour walk, and then we're back at home and a nice sleep, yeah.
We were so far up. It was exciting.
We started to near the top. It was covered in snow. It was probably going to be dark within an hour or two. We started to realise we were probably going to be climbing down in some quite rough conditions.
Emergency. I'm on the side of Travan, and there's 6 of us total, and we're a bit stuck. I don't know how we're going to get down, to be honest.
There's a group of 6. They've got to the top. They're on the way back down. Started following another group, thinking it was a quicker route off. They've done the classic. They've gone down Nornor Gully.
Josh, Emily and their friends are now in 2 groups. both stuck on a steep, narrow section of the mountain.
They've split into 2 groups of 3, but they're only about 5 metres apart. They've got a little bit of warm kit, now starting to suffer with the cold. U team are deploying. I've got Rob, I've got Jamie, I've got Tim, and I've got Mo and Mark, correct? Right. Have fun, take care. Good. All good.
2 rescuers have already gone ahead to find the group, and a second, larger team follows behind to help bring the casualties down safely.
Josh, how you doing? It's Daz. Just to be aware, I've got 2 team members that are just on the Heather Terrace, so they're not far. And then I've got a team of 6 following on.
Rob, are you happy for me to start heading up? Watch out for the little patches of ice, yeah?
There was what we call verglass, so a really thin layer of ice on some of the steps, which is a bit hidden because it just looks like wet rock, but actually it's really slippery.
Back at base, team member Daz must try to keep the stranded casualties calm over the phone until the rescuers reach them.
Try and keep morale high. They are definitely
내가 고시시대로를 유가사기 오백대로 오니까가 마음이 간다이 남이 모르고 이사시이까 이까나 마이야 구리나니 사가 가리다레 우고 이사 매일 같이 까마가고 스키나리 니 우모데루 사듀간 난데 이나이 요고 샤크 라라 사마 아가 메야 오고 보고 남의 기회 알아 이나 오고 이라 이고 이기각수 이가 니모라 대구사 비소와와 수베테 어디서 니거나 Sasita nami mimima osirarunika kariraya taniata yureku hono ekto kayasita yamete yo ame yohimi a ose uri kese tusiyo kanye o
to your location. Stay calm as much as you can, huddle together. You may start hearing people start shouting hello or flashing torches and stuff. If you hear that, that'll be the team.
I didn't think this was in my capabilities. As soon as I had that realisation, that's when you go from being in control to being in panic.
Definitely can't climb down, I can't climb back up. I was just completely petrified.
It kind of went from daytime to nighttime in what felt like about 5 minutes. It started to snow and you could see ice on every rock. Really treacherous conditions.
I couldn't really see around me. I couldn't see how far the drops were or what I was going to stand on.
That fear of having no idea what's around you. I think that induced a lot of panic.
Are we going left? Yeah. Yep. I just realised I've overshot it. Oh, come on, legs!
After around an hour, news comes over the radio.
Go ahead, Jed. Yeah, you might not see the bottom party, but I'm with the top party, over. Great, copy that, Jed.
Jed, part of the advance party, has found the first group of lost walkers.
The first thing I saw was Jed just appearing, and we'd been told to look out for this moustache, and I saw the moustache and I knew this man was here to save my life.
Hello!
And it's not long before the second team of rescuers finds the other group.
We're directly above them. On the way back down, they had gone off route. They had started to follow some other people. They had lost sight of the people in front of them and didn't really know which way these other people went. They ended up in a place that they weren't able to get themselves out of it.
Okay, from the anchor that's in...
The two groups are further apart than originally thought, separated by a sheer cliff face. Mo scrambles to a point midway between them.
Guys in the gully? Hello, how you doing? My name's Mo. Who have we got down here? Toby, Luke and Alex? Great, so there's just 3 of you, is there? How are you guys doing? Are you all right? Really cold. Yeah, okay. The warm jacket's in this bag, okay?
The group were very cold by the time that we got to them. They were very lucky to not have to wait longer for us to find them, to be able to at least get warm clothing to them, hot drinks.
Can we send a hot drink down? Are you all right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. We'll just send a flask down then, yeah? God's sake, be careful, it's hot. Don't burn your mouth.
It felt very important to protect the 3 people who were very much in the gully.
We're going to send you a yellow helmet with a head torch on it, and that's to protect you from above while there's lots of people around you, okay?
So if you want to start pulling it...
That's it. Try and keep it away from the rock if you can, bit of tension on it. That's it, you got the idea. Well done.
That's it, mate. Yeah. So these 3 are going to go on dual cable system.
Yeah.
Down to Chris.
With the casualties warm and comfortable, now Mountain Rescue have to work out how to get them off the mountain.
And that means everyone's moving then. Perfect.
So the plan is for these 3 guys who are in the bottom of the gully to get lowered down on the rope, and for their friends who are up here with Jamie to come down this ledge system. We actually started to extract them in 2 different ways. A rope rescue system to lower those in the gully all the way down to Heather Terrace. And there was another team of people who were on this sort of shelf operating a different rope rescue system where the 3 started to down climb, but with a rope attached to them. So there was a lot going on. It was really important for us as a team to have really good, clear communication.
You can shove your feet in this crack, just like wedge it in there, that's it. Just smear right in that corner and step right down to where I am. Come over to me. Okay, what you're gonna do from here, same as you were before, turn in, so face the rock so you've got something to hold on to. And then you see Tim. Timmy's gonna help you on that next bit, similar to this, okay?
I've never abseiled before in my life.
There's lots of good handholds and footholds, but you're also on the rope as well. That's it. Well done.
They told us you've got to trust these ropes with your life. At first, that sounds absolutely terrifying when you're leaning backwards off a gully, but as soon as you feel that rope hold you for the first time, you are safe. That's it, you know, you're getting out of there, yeah.
It was dark, couldn't really see. And you're trying to look at your feet, but you're also trying to look at the handholds. It becomes really quite difficult for experienced people, let alone for people who maybe don't do that all the time.
Yeah, good.
That's 3 of the casualties down, and the next 3 due to go shortly.
Makes sense.
Jed and Toby left to
Another
go.
10 metres, over.
That's Heather Terrace, so you can see a stream of lights. That's the remainder of the team coming down.
6 casualty party and 3 troops. Total of 9 making their way down to your location.
Yeah, roger that. Give us an update as you get closer to the road, over.
Great. Hello. We just got rescued.
So friendly, they were so inviting. They knew we'd just been through quite an ordeal and they just wanted us to relax and get comfortable.
Yes.
As soon as we got back, there was just an array of food, lots of pizza, chips, desserts.
They were incredibly lucky that we found them so quickly. We could have been finding very hypothermic people.
I would say The most memorable experience I've ever had, but also the most terrifying.
One of the best days of my life, with some of the worst few hours of my life mixed in the middle.